Wow, this guy looks very excited. He's ecstatic. He's just about to make a slam dunk, which we'll be talking about today. But first, let's go over what happened last week. On our first chapter, yes, chapter one, we spoke about aggressiveness and cautiousness, having that balance, that mixture correctly, so that, well, to take clues from each other, especially our partner last week gave us a clue to make a game contract bid when we put out a three of spade or three of clubs bid, but we kind of passed on it and didn't do it. But hey, when we do listen to our partner and we do that game contract bid and we make that game, we get the first game and vulnerability, which is basically saying, hey, we are one game, that's one game away from winning the rubber. That's exciting. Okay, so let's get on to this slam thing here. On our live play, vulnerability, chapter one, as we all know from this guy slamming, is slam dunk. Yeah, there we go. And before we really get into it, because it does get a little exciting as we're doing some live play. In fact, Gene Wilder, plug your ears for a second, is just a little too excited about because it's
alive! It's alive! It's alive!
yes, Gene, live play. Let's get to it. Oh, you gotta love this guy. Okay, let's see what they're gonna do for us here. Oh, good. We're gonna stop here for a second and just go over last week's club bid. And I made a joke that they didn't listen to the club, but hey, they made the contract. Three clubs made the contract, and let's bring our friends into fashion here. And as we recall, when you're doing a contract, the first six tricks are called book, and you get 0 points for that. Okay, B is for book. And that your next tricks are called odd tricks. So anything above the first six tricks are called odd tricks. And this is where you get your points. So they got the three clubs here. And for clubs specifically, we get 20 points. We see the other difference for other suits and such. So hey, that 3 times 20 equals 60. And now when we look at our over tricks, that's extra tricks basically, they are also treated like odd tricks, as they should, because again, any trick above book is considered an odd trick. So these three, again, times 20 gives us 60. Now, it may raise a question because we had shown this before. I'm going to mark this down 60 so we see it. That on a game contract bid, we had mentioned before that it's 100 points or more. And here's you can see them all underlined. 100, 100, 120, 120, 100. That's a game contract bid. That's when you'd actually get a game. And you may look, wait a minute, we got 120 here. We got 120 points. That's a game. Why didn't we get a game? Well, because we have to bid. They have to bid 5 clubs or more to get game contract points. And so we got what's called a partial score or part score, however you want to put it. And so that shows you right there, yes, for a game contract bid, this is what you have to bid to get the game contract and to win it. Yay! And get vulnerability. Yay! But let's see what's going to happen this round. Let's go ahead and erase all this. Okay. And we're going to get rid of our friends here and go on to the bidding. Okay, we're going to freeze that and go back to our pen. And what we're going to do here is put the puzzle together for South. Okay, South was the dealer and they bid 1 diamond. Okay, they got 5 diamonds here. Okay, so they got 5 diamonds. Great. Now it came along to West and they put out a 1 spade bid. Now normally, just so we all know, on majors, which are spades or hearts, normally if you're going to come out with a bid first time around, which they're doing, you're going to want to have at least 5 of those in your hand. Perfect. So now their partner, again, it's already been bid. The very first time it's bid, you're assuming it's 5. But you can support your partner in upping the bid if you have 3 or more of the same suit. Now, in this sense, they do have it, in fact, but yeah, look at this. They didn't go 2. No, they went 3 spades. Wow. So that means at that point you go, well, they probably have at least 4 spades. Great. Okay. Now, our partner here, okay, did the customary 2 diamonds. Now, like I said before, normally it'd be like a 3 or something like that, but what I'm looking at is this. They had an opportunity, which you normally would do, to try to bid a major suit. Well, they obviously didn't have enough spades because these guys got the spades. And they're showing, hey, we don't have enough hearts either, to up that, because they could have done 2 hearts here. So they don't have a lot of cards in spades. They don't have a lot of cards in hearts. Means they have the majority of their cards in clubs. Now, they didn't come out and do a 2 club bid, which means the most of the cards they have is really in diamonds. And so, again, we cannot see each other's hands when we're bidding, but you have to go by a lot of assumptions. Hey, if they didn't bid the hearts and they didn't bid the spades, that means the majority of their cards are in the minor suits, the diamonds and the clubs, and since they're betting 2 diamonds, we have to assume they have at least 4 diamonds in their hand. So we're putting the puzzle together. We see they got a lot of spades here for them. And, one good thing about South's hand, and they just have this singleton ace, which will gain them a trick. But also they realize they can't relinquish accept this 3 spade bid because they're going to lose. These guys will make the contract if they do that. So what they need to do is bid diamonds again. But how many diamonds do they bid? Well, we're putting this puzzle together to where they got 9 spades. We got 1 singleton, so we'll get that trick. And then we'll be able to trump their spades all day long with our diamonds. And we know our partner has at least 4 diamonds in their hand. That helps out. We got a singleton, that helps. And one little addition thing is we got 3 aces. Yay, okay. Well, when you start putting this puzzle together, it's telling us how many diamonds to go ahead and bid. Let's see, we're going to erase this so you don't have to see this full mess. Yeah. Let's do that and continue. Let's see how the bidding goes. Yep, 6 diamonds. Here we go. Let's go for that small slam. Woohoo! I love it. Okay, so the first card being played here is that King of Spades. And I like this move. And it makes a lot of sense. Because Gravity and Sandy are trying to go for a small slam, which is 12 tricks. But there's only 13 tricks in a hand, so they can only lose 1 trick. They're saying, let's get that first trick. And we have 9 spades. I'm hoping you have the ace as well. I'll play my king. We get a trick. I play another card. You get your ace. That's our second trick. We have set the contract. Setting means you're basically upsetting your opponent, which would be Gravity and Sandy, from making their contract. But as we can see, this does not really occur. And so now at this point they're saying, okay, we got our first trick. Let's see if we can get rid of some of their diamonds there. And now they're only left with this one diamond. And then we're going to see, hey, a spade's being played. We're going to trump here. Awesome. So you'll see they're doing this play where they kind of go back and forth a little bit. And here they're going to play this king of clubs to take that trick. That gives us 4 tricks. Go back to the spade and go ahead and trump that. That gives us 5. And then they do sort of an odd thing here. Yeah, this was sort of odd that they did this. Didn't make a lot of sense. Came out with this 10 of clubs. So I say it's odd because I guess they weren't keeping track and they were thinking that maybe the jack of clubs had already been played. Anyway, so they lost that trick. That was the first trick they lost. And fortunately, from this point on, they're going to trump that spade. They kind of go back and forth and playing some cards. Here they win with their clubs, but then they're going to go ahead and start trumping here. So this actually works out, and then they get rid of their last heart, so they don't have to worry about this ace of hearts never going to come and play. So this was actually really well done. And I want to stop here just for a second. This happens quite a bit. Now, it says Sandy claims the rest of the tricks. So when we get to a point where all we have left are trump cards and they're in one hand, that player will actually lay those cards down. So that you can see they're actually laying those cards down because these people still have their cards in their hand. And they basically say, you know what, we claim the rest of the tricks. And it's a nice game or time saver, I should say. And at the same time, it kind of takes away from prolonging the misery that poor Dora and Colleen have to go through. Yes, indeed. So, hey, let's go ahead and see what the outcome was from all this play. And there we are. Let's bring up some friends again and put this in perspective by bringing out our hand to pan. And we've talked about odd tricks. And we talked about book. And so these are the book, or these are the odd tricks here, right? So these 6 tricks. And diamonds are worth 20 points for each odd trick. So we got 6 odd tricks. Again, book, I'll just write down anyway. Book is 6 tricks. You get no points for it. Anything above book is odd tricks. So they got 6 odd. I know I'm going to emphasize and be a little redundant here. 6 odd tricks plus 20 gives us 120 points. Yay! And because of that, it was considered a small slam because 12 tricks is considered a small slam. And you get an additional 500 points. Woohoo! So that's really good stuff when you think about it. And, just to reiterate what we're at here, this is what we started with. And Gravity obviously had the hand to start with, 19 HCP. And a reminder, HCP is high card points. And really comes down to on these high card points, which is the higher the numerical is, the stronger your hand is. And we normally have been looking for that 12 or 13 points before we make our first bid. Okay, the opening bidder usually is looking for 12 or 13. It opens up from that point, and you'll see the reason why I say that, because this is how the bid went. They had 1 diamond, and they went to spades, and they said, okay, for them bidding that 1 spade, they had 5 spades at least. Their partner bid 3, not just 2, but 3. So we have to assume they have at least 4. This is all assumption. Always can be wrong, but kind of just go with logic here. Our partner here doesn't have spades, didn't bid hearts, which means they don't have many major suits here, hearts and spades. This means they have a bunch of minor suits, diamonds and clubs. And because of that, they went and did 2 diamonds. We have to assume they have 4 at least. Okay. And then we look at we had a singleton. Okay, that's a singleton. And we had 3 aces. And that gave us a determination and also puts us to the question, hey, can you get a small slam with just 3 aces? And that question was answered with which we just saw was yes. But another question comes in, could they have gotten 13? Okay. And the answer to that would have been yes. Okay. But it came down to them, if they were looking at the alpha chart, here's our alpha chart. If they had been playing it, as we put each trick, and just so you know, like the first trick, south wins, that's bolded. The second trick, north wins, that's bolded. You don't see the third trick because it was trumped with a small trump card, and you don't see the fifth. Well, you see the fourth one here, which also was taken down by north, bolded. You don't see the fifth trick because we see that 5 tricks were taken, because that also was taken down with a trump card. So what I'm saying is, if we had this alpha chart rolling, they would have realized that the jack of clubs was still around. So they wouldn't have played that 10 of clubs and wouldn't have got, they wouldn't have got that trick. Dora wouldn't have got that trick. And in fact, actually, if they didn't play, if they didn't play that, what would happen at the end? Instead of having 12 tricks, they would have got 13 tricks. So it answers a question that you can, even with just 3, we don't show it here, but even with just 3 aces, you can actually get a large slam. That is actually a possibility, because we saw that at that point what happened was they went back and forth with playing cards and doing trumps, and this ace never got a trick. So very cool, yeah. You have to appreciate that. Now, when we look at here, this is on the flip side. Dora could have got a set if they didn't play this spade. Okay, here they got trump with that spade. And we have to logically, again, I know I harp a lot on this alpha chart. And the reason is because if you do keep track, you can get advantages. You can get potentially more tricks. And let's just go over it real quick here. So I apologize here. We'll go down 6 clubs, okay? Well, clubs, they don't have any clubs, so we play the 6 of clubs, it's going to be trumped. Okay. Or if they have higher clubs, which they happen to have, they'll take it with their trump. They'll take it with one of their clubs. Now, if we look at spades, spades have been getting trumped all day long. But if we look at hearts, and we look at this chart, no hearts have been played. Well, that means there's the ace, king, queen, jack in there. There's a good probability that our partner could have either an ace, a king, or a jack, because we do see, because this is the dummy hand, the silent partner hand that everybody gets to see. Do see the queen here. It's a possibility our partner could have an ace or a king or a jack. So logically, if they had had this chart and were working it, they probably would have gone with the hearts, and they would have got their second trick. Okay, they would have got their second trick, and they would have set. They would have set Sandy and Gravity. Really, they would upset their contract by setting their contract, and then they would end up getting points. Such is life. It happens. Okay, let's go up to a little mojo facts here about slams. Small slam, dunk, 24 to 25 hands, you'll get a small slam. And large slams, 1 or 2 weeks you'll see it, when you're playing. So that's kind of cool to go by. And you know, really, nothing's more powerful than a slam dunk. Yeah, in basketball. Now, in bridge, you know, it's not as physically challenging, no. But a slam, yeah, is something to be celebrated. And if you're getting a slam or your opposing team is getting a slam, it's very rare it happens. And so, you know what? When it happens, low five, bump, high fives to all. Yeah. Well, let's put a little congratulations out to Gravity and Sandy. Well done, really. So, what they did here is by making the contract and making the small slam, they got their game, they got their vulnerability, and they got that small slam 500 points. Woohoo! Congrats to them on that. One game away from the rubber. Okay, what fun do we have in store for chapter 3? It's pie in the sky, my friends. Woohoo! Okay, hey, slam dunk that like button on the way out and the subscribe button. Thank you so much. Have a great day.